start of the season, something dawned on myself and Gio. And that is, for all the time we're doing Hammers Chat, we've never done a Hammer of the Year. We've never put our heads together and thought, who was the best player this season? Not in any sort of official capacity anyway. So we decided to go for it. But this time it sort of had to be sort of scientific. Had to be studious. We couldn't just get towards the end and have a hunch or see how we felt, because that sort of thing can be influenced by who's finished the season strongly and that sort of thing. So the scientific method was going to be done with our player ratings book. So at the end, I'm not going to show you, basically at the end of each game, what we do is we fill out one of these and we rate each player individually. And then what we do is the morning after the game, we produce a video which goes on our Patreon channel and we rate them. So anyway, this week I couldn't do it over on Patreon. I watched the game late, missed the game, I couldn't do it. So I'm going to do my player ratings now so as it's on record. And here's the point. At the end of the season, we go back, we put all the data, I was going to make out we put the data into a supercomputer. We don't. We'll literally spend ages writing it down and then get an average of all the players' marks and try and extrapolate who is the player of the season. Now, we've actually been doing it player of the month and going on from there. But what I wanted to do was take you through it now and give my player ratings for the match against FCSB. Now, I know, not the best opposition in the world, but it all gets taken into account. By the end of the season, that doesn't matter. We've got a few rules that should filter out. Let's say, for instance, Scarles was man of the match, right? Let's say he was your man of the match, my man of the match. He can't win. If he plays one game, he can't win Hammer of the Year. He can't win it. You've got to have played 15 games, right? And the other thing we do is we don't mark substitutes, because it's hard. It's you can mark someone down. They come on for the last couple of minutes, you can mark them down. So those are the rules. That's what we're going by. We might tweak it next season, but that's it. So we give everybody a mark and the manager. So I'm going to start off for this game with Alphonse Areola. And I'm just going to give Areola a 6 out of 10, basically, because he didn't have much to do, but he did nothing wrong. It's always hard, I think, to mark a goalkeeper for games like that. Anyway, I'm just going to move on from that one. I'm going to go to Vladimir Soufal. Now, I'm actually going to give Soufal a 7 out of 10. He didn't have any defending to do. Let's be perfectly honest. So what we have to do is judge him on his attacking play, which I never think is Soufal's best attribute, that's for sure. But if you think about the Ogbonna goal or deflected goal, sorry, I've just realised that's a little bit bright in it. There we go. The thing about the Ogbonna goal, it was a Soufal cross. So I think the delivery was pretty good. I think he got forward to good effects. And technically, he had an assist. Does it still cast as an assist if it's a deflected goal? We give it an assist. We're giving Ogbonna the goal. I'm giving Soufal the assist. And I'm giving him a 7 out of 10. Now, the guy next to him, Johnson, again, I thought Johnson was a little bit rusty in this game. But I also thought he played in his, maybe not his preferred position, but the position I expect him to play for a lot of his career. He got better as the game went on. I think just a little bit sloppy in possession, but I think produced the best pass of the game, or close to it, actually. There were a few contenders come the end, actually. But Johnson played a wonderful ball for Fornals' opener, where Fornals watched it over his shoulder and sort of let it bounce, hit it on the half volley with his left foot. So that redeems him. I'm going to give him I'm going to give him a 6. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Wasn't an awful lot for him to do. Let's be fair. It's not like he got torn apart or anything like that. But I don't think it was his best performance. But I'll tell you what, someone that comes out for a little bit of criticism for his delivery, there was nothing wrong with that pass, that's for sure. Anyway, let's get on to Agard now. Naif Agard, or Nathan Agard, as David Moyes likes to call him. It's funny, isn't he, Moyes? He gets very particular with someone calling him Moisey, but he's quite happy to get everybody else's names wrong. Agard, it's hard. You know the old confirmation bias, right? It's hard one in football. And just as a football fan, you get your favourites, don't you? You just have your favourites. So that is, there's any way past it. And Look, we're not the BBC. We're not Sky Sports. We haven't got to pretend to be impartial. We're West Ham fans, right? And as West Ham fans, you know what it's like. You've had favourite players in the past. You've probably got favourite players now, and they get a little bit of an easier ride. Lanzini would be a case in point. Lanzini gets a slightly easier ride with me. I really like him as a player. Agurd's becoming a favourite already. I've barely seen him play. I really like what I've seen from Agurd. You might have noticed there's going to be a theme running through this channel. So you better... there's only one way that Agurd could be improved, and that was if his name was Dembele. But I think he's really good. I'm gonna score him high. See, I want to give him a 9, right? Here's the thing. I want to give him a 9 out of 10. But I'm also mindful... I don't want to skew the hammer of the year figure. So I'm actually going to give him an 8 out of 10. But, oh my goodness, he's silky. Isn't he silky? Come on. 8 out of 10 for a Gerd. Ogbonna next to him. Do you see Ogbonna's little bit of skill, actually? Didn't do bad at all. I like when Ogbonna plays in this system, actually. Particularly when he plays to the left of the 3 centre-backs. Because what he does is I think he gets a bit bored. And he starts almost making himself into a bit of a left back, and then it's almost... I looked at that game and I thought actually almost Ogbonna was sometimes playing left wing back, and Scarles was almost playing up on the left wing, putting in some crosses. But I guess you can do that when there's no threat from the opposition. I thought, again, it's hard to say, but a really important game for Ogbonna. And what was that? The 5th game he's played, something like that. Pretty damn good, really, isn't it? To see him come back from injury like that. I think he was a 7 out of 10. And the thing I'd say about Ogbonna is, I don't think he's quite quick or mobile enough that you don't want to see this guy up against Patson Daka. Put it that way. And there's a suggestion that he won't feature much in the Premier League this season, or at all. And I sort of understand that, but I don't think... I wouldn't rule it out, by the way. Obviously, look, if everyone's fit, he don't get in, but... Would I want to see him against someone really fast? No, but I think he could do a job. I really do. I don't think he'd be embarrassed against a few Premier League teams. So, well done, Ogbonna. Really, really pleased to see that. Okay. Ollie Scarles. What'd you say about this, kids? Somebody in the comments on yesterday's video, actually, I popped the video up yesterday. Somebody said Ollie Scarles put more dangerous crosses in that one game than Ben Rama did. I can't remember what he said, 4 or 5 games, something like that. Really good. Really, really good. Again, you can't assess him on a defending. I'm going to stop saying that. You get it. We played against a crap team, right? But we still played very much a second-string team, and with loads of youngsters as well, come the end of the game. And to be fair to them, they only made 4 changes from... I'm talking about FCSB here, 4 changes from the team that played in their league game. So do you know what? I think Scarles did really, really well. Really like that delivery that he puts in there. He's only going to get faster and stronger. I think he looked decent. He linked with the players really well. I think he's a prospect. I really do. I look forward to seeing him again. What am I going to give Scarles? I'm going to give him an 8. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. Very, very impressed there. Oh, by the way, see my pen, right? I've got 3 of these. All right. Just so as you know, in my book when I'm doing my records, right? So I'm writing in black ink at the moment, sometimes blue ink. The man of the match gets the red ink, right? Just telling you that now. Lanzini, I thought Lanzini was good. You know, he was a class above them basically. So really pleased with what I saw from Lanzini. Pass and move, dictated play, played the 90 minutes, played loads. You know, he's been. This is the thing. We've finished that group with a 100% record, and let's not discount the 2 qualifiers as well. By the way, he's played more games for us than anyone else this season in Europe. So you talk about West Ham have done well to get through in the group, and he's been a massive part of it. Lanzini, as I say, I'll give Lanzini an easy ride. I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Thought he was in cruise control, as he often is. When he plays like that, Lanzini is in cruise control. Look, there's no 9s out of 10, no 10 out of 10. Well, actually, maybe there will be. But, you know, we didn't need to be. We didn't need to really get out of third gear to win this game, did we? And, you know, makes you wonder, had he have put a sprinkling of some of the other players in there, it would have been, you know, you would have been looking at 5-6-0, certainly. Coventry had a quiet game. There wasn't an awful lot for him to do. Kept it neat and tidy. Looked okay. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10, Coventry. I got forward to good effect at one point later on in the game as well. I was pleased for him. I'm pleased for him to play these back-to-back games. I do wonder if he will feature against Blackburn, but I think it's an easy thing to take Blackburn too lightly. And we mustn't do that, by the way, because I think they'll be motivated. That being said, they're pushing for promotion. Maybe they won't feel that they can take the cup seriously. Who knows? That's a conversation for another day, isn't it? Flynn Downes. I'm going to give Flynn Downes... Oh, it's tough. We don't do half marks. I want to give him an 8.5 out of 10. We don't do half marks. It skews it. It makes it awkward. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? When me and Gio normally do this video together, by the way, and Gio always writes his down first. So when we go into the video, Gio knows the marks he's going to attribute. I sort of make them up as I go along a lot of the time. I thought Downes was excellent. Really, really good. I'm going to give him an 8 because I sort of have to, because for man of the match reasons, you will understand. I'm going to give Downes an 8, but really good, really good. Okay, so no surprise here. My man of the match is Pablo Fornals, El Fornicador. He's El Fornicador again. He's a fornicator. Fornicator's back. He's fornicating with the best of them. Well, he's fornicating with the worst team in the Conference League. But anyway, who cares? You know what I mean? He's fornicating. He gets red ink. There you go. We put that down. Fornals gets a 9 out of 10. And it's fully deserved. So Fornals, here's the thing. Fornals did you know this? I didn't know, so the commentator said it. Fornals has now played more games in European football than anyone else in West Ham's history. What about that? I mean, that's worth something, isn't it? I mean, it really is. Yeah, well, I don't know if it's worth a medal or say it's worth that's some legendary status. I always thought he might go down as a cult hero, and you know what? He's just got to stay around. We need to give him a new contract. I don't mean pay him the earth. I'm not saying make him the top earner, but keep him at the club. Honestly, he's like the Spanish Ginger Pele, but not ginger, or Welsh, or even Pele. I don't know. Something else. He's like the brunette Beckenbauer. I don't know if that works. Does it work? I don't know. Anyway, that's what he is. I used to be the brunette Beckenbauer. I'm very grey. Now, that's what this does to you. This player ratings. 9 out of 10. Let's get Mubama. I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Well done him. Well done him. You know, it's a little fox. He's not a little fox in a box. Big lad, isn't he? Big fox in a box. More like a wolf than a fox. Bear. I don't know. He's like a large mammal in a box. Basically, I don't know, but he can't be the fox in the box. But he was sniffing out opportunity. Really was. I thought his movement was really good. Clearly a nice lad. Clearly a popular lad. I mentioned yesterday's video. I thought the celebrations were brilliant. All of them, just all mates together. He's been at the club since he was a kid, 6 or 7 years of age. Love that. Same as Ben Johnson. Loved what Moyes had to say about him. You know, loved the feel-good factor around it. I was annoyed that the deflection. You know, I was just annoyed that it wasn't a clean goal for him, really. But I hope he doesn't mind. As I say, we all give him the goal. As I mentioned yesterday, no Mubama, no goal. If he doesn't make the header, there's no bloody goal. And quite frankly, he's lucky that Soufal managed to land it on his head. But we've marked Soufal up for that. Thought it was a good performance. Kept getting in goal-scoring positions. If he keeps doing that, he'll score goals. I was really, really, really pleased. And do you know what? Here's what I will say about him. I was not impressed at all because I heard lots of things about Odubeko, and I was not impressed at all when a few times I saw him play for our first team. Didn't think firework. Did you hear that? Didn't think he had the instant. Yesterday there was a plane flying over. Today there's a firework. Actually, to be fair, let me be honest, it's the same day for me. Anyway, it's they're not. The fireworks hasn't gone up at the same time as the plane. By the way, there was a little bit of a gap between the two. Fortunately, we don't want any accidents now, do we? I thought he's better than Odubeko. I think he looks sharper. I think he's got more of a bit more. Well, you've got to have intelligence to move. Be that fox in the box and find space and read the deliveries and stuff like that. I just think it's a bit brighter, a bit sharper. Denodebeko. I like it. Really pleased with what I've seen from him. And you know what? That's what these youngsters have done. They put themselves in the manager's mind. Now, as I mentioned, we literally, there it is there. I've written all the marks there. What we don't do is we don't do the substitutions because it complicates it. But, you know, obviously I mentioned a lot of them in the thing yesterday, didn't I? So I was playing. Sawyer came on, of course. Casey came on. I mentioned them yesterday anyway. So I thought they all did fabulously well. Managerial rating, got to give them a 9 out of 10. No, I'm not. I'll give them a 10 out of 10. I'm scrapping it. Couldn't have done any more. What more could he have done? He left 14 players at home. Played the reserves. Got fitness in the legs of a Gerd and Ogbonna. Got the youngsters. You know, he got a goal for a youngster. Got almost a man of the match performance from Scarles. He would have been up for it, I'm telling you. He would have been in contention. If it's only naughty Fornals scoring 2 goals, that stops him being in contention. You've got to give it to for midfielder, scores 2 goals, you've got to give it to him. But from Moyes' point of view, I mean, it was perfect. It was a 3-0 win away from home, getting experience for players. In terms of club management, I thought it was excellent. So I'm going to give him a 10 out of 10. Obviously, he can't win Manager of the Season. There's no Manager of the Season award. His figures are not getting aggregated at the end of the season and getting an award. But what we will get is a number at the end of the season. I mean, please don't think, right? I'm going to tell you now, just so as you know, I'm going to give you a little spoiler here. A little spoiler. Here's my managerial rating starting from Man City game for David Moyes, right? He got a 3 out of 10 for that from me. 5 out of 10 for Nottingham Forest. 7 for Viborg. I gave him a none out of 10 for Brighton. Just in case, right, you think I am equally harsh, okay, and equally nice. I'm just giving him a 10 out of 10. He got 8 out of 10 for Spurs. 5 out of 10 for Chelsea. That's monthly player ratings. 8 for the first game against FCSB. Remember he turned it round at half-time? 3 out of 10 for the first Silky Borg. 2 out of 10 for Everton. Deserved it. 9 out of 10 for Wolves. 9 out of 10 for Anderlecht. 7 out of 10 for Fulham. 6. I didn't give a managerial rating for the second Anderlecht game. I better sort it out. Why didn't I do that? Anyway, who cares? Is he in the stands for that? I don't know. Anyway, anyway, whatever. Southampton, he got a 6 out of 10. He got a 3 out of 10 for the Liverpool game. I mean, I'm equally harsh. So don't want you to think he got a 10 out of 10. I call it as I see it. Play the ball and not the man. Play it with a straight bat as a cricketing term. I've got a football term, cricketing term. Boxing term, punch him on the nose. There you go. Anyway. That's about it. Hopefully you've enjoyed the player ratings. Blimey, that's gone on a little bit. These go on even longer than that, by the way, on the because myself and Gio having a conversation on the Patreon. So if you do fancy joining us on Patreon, it's patreon.com/HammersChat. There's loads of this crap on there. Join up if you want. It'll help us particularly. We'll enjoy that. We'll appreciate it, particularly as we've lost our sponsor.